Loftus Digital Marketing Company. We do everything from websites to local SEO and social media management. I've had over 30 years experience in sales. I really take sales online. My perspective is a little different than a lot of other marketers that look at the message, the graphics, the how things look nice. I look at how to create action. How do we get someone that's online to click on something, call you, or come through your door? So I built my first website in 2002, and I've been working in online marketing ever since in some fashion or another. I've used online marketing to generate a lot of leads for myself in sales. So today we're going to talk about a free service that Google offers. It's called Google My Business, and it's like the Yellow Pages through Google. It's all of your listings, all of your company information, where you're located, what you do, and they offer free advertising space in their search engines in what's called a knowledge panel, which is the panel down the right-hand side of the screen when you're searching on your desktop, or the top half of your smartphone when you're searching on mobile. So it's a really, really important tool. And I'm going to talk about not just how to use it, but how to optimize it and how to leverage it to get more clicks, more calls, and more customers through your door. The importance of using this tool, especially now that it's free, and it's literally since the time we booked this lunch and learn to when I put the presentation together, and then this morning in revising my presentation, more things were added from Google. So there's things that I just literally added slides for this morning that I wasn't aware of yesterday. And that's how fast these things change. The things that we're going to talk about today are the tools that are provided in Google. The posts are probably the most important thing to use, to optimize, to really get the message across about what your business does and why customers should come into you or use your services. Question and answer is in two ways. One, Google has messaging right there available on Google My Business where people can text you, ask you questions directly. I added that service, and within a week got a new customer in my business that messaged me right through Google My Business. And then question and answer is something that's open to the community. It's what Google considers user contribution, and it's right on the knowledge panel. People can click on it and ask questions, but anyone in the community can answer those. So it's important as business owners that Google My Business listings aren't set it and forget it. There's something that you go back and look at and change and update all the time. Check to see if anybody's asked a question. Be the person that answers it instead of one of your customers answering it, which might be a good thing also, and many people do answer those questions. One of the interesting statistics that came up is that 25% of questions that have been asked of local businesses have still not been answered. So that means the community or the business owner haven't answered those questions. The booking is something that you use through Google. Google now is booking hotel rooms, they're booking restaurants, they're booking, if you have any time slots where you invite customers in to book, you can partner with some of their software that Google offers, and you can literally book right through the knowledge panel. The thing that most people ask me is, why do I need a website if Google is doing all of this? And Google wants to be your website. There's no two ways around it. Google wants you to have to use them to find you, and they want you to advertise through them. That's where their income comes from, is AdWords and Display Network. So having a website is still very, very important because it's the hub of everything you do online. And Google has no way of knowing if you have authority in your business unless you have a website that is focused on what your business does. But Google is using all of these tools so that people don't have to leave Google to find you. There's a click right there to go to your website, but they would rather somebody just click right in Google and use the Google booking and use the tools that they offer. Menus and services. Menus, literally anybody that has a restaurant or serves food or has a catering service, you can list all of your menu items. We're going to show you that here in a minute. And services. So if you offer any type of services, they give you a place to add the subject, the service itself, and then the pricing of it or the price range of it. We're going to show you what that screen looks like. And literally just from a week ago to this morning, they've added products. So now you can add products, a product description, and a product price or product price range right in your Google My Business listing. The save button is to save your listing from desktop to your mobile phone on apps. Google is testing a save button so that you can save your most visited knowledge panels or businesses right to your Google account. So the ones that you visit all the time, you can literally quickly reference. The business descriptions were taken away by Google about 4 years ago, and they just came back this year because Google was seeing that people would game them or use what are called an SEO black hat tactics so that their stuff would show up in the business description. So Google took that away. Google looked at your website, looked at your listing and your categories, and they created their own business description. Literally just months ago, they gave that back to the business owner, and you can add your own business descriptions. Reviews, probably the most important thing we'll talk about today, and how much they impact your business. And then opening hours, Google wants literally you to have your opening hours up to date. So if there's a holiday coming up, if there's a time that you're going to close early for a company party or something, Google really wants those to be updated. If you've ever looked at your phone and you're like, well, should I drive across town and go to this business? They'll say closing soon. They'll say open now. And that's what Google wants. The reason why this is important is because Google wants to gauge your authority as a business. Why would I choose your business over someone else's? Why would Google choose to show me your business listing instead of your competitors? And they use 3 things to figure that out. They use relevance. What question have they asked Google? And how appropriately will your business answer that question? And then just prominence is where reviews come in, is where your website comes in. How many links go back to your business? How often do you publish posts? How prominent is your business in Google, and then also your interaction and engagement with customers? And then distance is something that you don't have much control over, but prominence and relevance trumps distance. So even if they're across town, they might choose to come to your business, or Google might choose to show your business as the best answer based on not how close they are to your business, but how strong your business appears. And all of these things put together is the authority that your business has. That's really what all of the algorithms Google is putting together to figure out what listing to show is, do they think your business has the authority, or is the right answer to the question the customer is asking? So we're just, I meant to say at the beginning, I'm going to go through this slideshow pretty quickly, and then I'm going to open up the app and show you how I use the app for my customers, and then we're going to open it up for questions afterwards. So my goal is to leave lots of time for question and answers afterwards, but if there's a burning question you just can't wait to ask while I'm going through this, I'm happy to answer them. The appearance of Google My Business on your desktop, the dashboard that they give you, and the appearance on your smartphone look a lot different and actually now operate a lot different. I expect soon that the app will be updated and all of the options that you have on your desktop will be available in the app. But I use the app most often. I don't have to leave my phone where I'm at for business and for social and for fun to post for business. This create an offer post, literally when I booked this Lunch and Learn about a month ago, that had just been introduced. So an offer, when you post an offer through your desktop dashboard, it will show up and be available for the whole time your offer is scheduled. So from today to the end of June, it'll be a live post on Facebook, and you can literally offer anything, including coupon codes and a link to a capture page on your website, or offer special things. This is where Google wants offers. We'll talk about it in a minute, but that's not, they don't want those offers in your business description. This is what the dashboard looks like. Down the left-hand column is basically the things we're going to talk about today. Posting the information of your business. Insights, which is statistics, it's analytics. Who's going where, what they're clicking on, how many times they viewed things, how many times did they call you. All of that's available in Insights. Your reviews and review management. And then messaging we talked about for a minute. Photos are really, really important. We're going to cover that in detail. And then website. Google gives you a free website through Google My Business. If you're just starting out, you can buy a URL through them and build a website on them, and just the information you put on your Google My Business listing will propagate your website. So they'll literally build it for you. So for starting out businesses, it's an excellent way to go. For long range, it's not necessarily your hub and you don't own it. Google owns it. So unlike a lot like a Facebook page or other free services like Wix, you don't have control of your internet property, someone else does. So this came out literally in the last week, being able to post a product on your Google My Business. You can showcase a product, you can show a price or a price range, and you get to describe that. If you choose not to post a price, it'll still post to Google My Business. So again, Google wants to be the answer place for all the questions customers are asking. If you list just a few products and a few services and your competitor doesn't, that gives you authority in Google's mind over your competition. See, this is what the dashboard looks like to post a product. Unfortunately, it's not showing here, but this is the product range screen. You get your product name, a minimum and a maximum price range, details about your product, and then you can add a button. That button is a link to your website, a link to your Facebook page, a link to somewhere where Google's going to be able to gauge that authority. Google chases links to see where they go and ranks basically based on the authority of those links in and out of your online presence. So links are really, really important because it's free that Google's giving you this. And you can use that. If you notice back a couple of screens, they were advertising their own AdWords right over here on the dashboard. They want you to buy AdWords. They want you to buy display. But this is all free that they're offering you to get the traffic to your website and to your business, and then you can see how strong Google is as a tool, and hopefully then you'll buy their advertising. This is an offer, and again, you can write your post. What you don't see here is above these information screens is a place to post a picture or a video. You can literally post a video. It says in Google's guidelines 30 seconds long, up to 100 megabytes, but I've easily posted videos that are a minute and 12 seconds. The optimum video to post is between 15 and 30 seconds. Longer than that, a lot of people aren't going to stick around unless it's really, really fun and really interesting and really engaging. Your offer title. Again, Google is using these words that you use. This is your optimization opportunity. If you're using Grand Junction in your title, if you're using Fruta, if your business is in Fruta in your title, if you're using your business name or a very good product name, those keywords Google recognizes in your post. So you're literally spoon-feeding Google the keywords that they use to find your business. And then in your description. Another neat thing about posting the images is that it's rumored that Google uses their artificial intelligence, their image recognition software, to look at the image and give it context to what your description is. So Google is going a step beyond what we human brains use, and they're using their machine brain to add more context and more authority to what you're posting. So even though these GIFs are fun and they're a great thing to add, you probably want to put a picture literally of your business, literally of your team members, literally of your products, and a picture that's engaging, something that people want to see that leads them to click. The events are awesome. An event can be a sale. That's what started after posts. The events were the next thing that Google added. And events were used as a sale, but now they've replaced that with offer. But an event could be this webinar. I posted an event on my Google My Business page about this particular luncheon run. And I can see how many people looked at it and how many people clicked on it. The link went to the factory's website to book to reserve a spot. Your start date, your end date, and the event title, again, a great place to optimize. And then you write your post, which is 100 to 300 words. A short description is great. A long description is fine, but they're going to restrict you to 300 words. Sometimes it's easier to put in more words than less words. But the key is less, more focused words is better than a lot of words. Abraham Lincoln once said, "I'm sorry this letter is so long, I didn't have time to shorten it." So getting your thoughts into a short, concise sentence is something that definitely takes time and effort. This is where you post your videos. You can drag and drop them from a desktop. You can load them right from your phone. I use Google Drive to hold a lot of my images and my videos. I download them to my phone when I need them, and I post directly from my phone. So when you click that button on your phone, it's just going to open up your photo library or your camera. You can take a picture right then and there. You can take a video right then and there. There's even some software that's just been introduced where we as an agency can send text messages to you and your employees to remind them to take a picture. And then they simply reply to that text, and that picture automatically posts to Google. So Google wants pictures. They know that photographs are more engaging than words, and the more engaging Google is, the more people will use that search engine and not Facebook search engine and not Yahoo search engine. So people really want them, whatever you're posting to be more engaging, and if it is, they reward you with more authority. This is what it looks like on a mobile, and again, right now on a mobile device, you have either a post or an event. And I do think that app will be updated soon, so you'll be able to post offers and post full-blown events and products through the app. Right now, you have to log in on the desktop to do that. So the question and answer in the dashboard, you have an option to set up messaging. You get an automatic response when somebody messages you. That automatically shows up in their text service. And then you receive a message, and you can reply at your leisure. It's best to reply quickly. And you can set up the phone number where those messages go. If you are a Google person and you have an Android device, you can also set up what's called Allo messaging, which is an app that Google offers, so that those messages are separate in an app and not in your personal texts. So you don't get confused and say, "Be home in a minute, honey," and you're texting a client by accident. I've never done that, by the way. The great thing about that app is that you can also direct those texts to your employees. Let's say you're going to Lake Powell for the weekend, and you don't want customers to text you while you're out there. You can literally delegate that to someone else. If you put in your personal business owner or your personal phone number, you don't have that option. I use an iPhone, and unfortunately at this time I don't have that option. I'd rather have my number here and accept businesses contacting me than to not turn on messaging. You don't have to turn it on. It's an option for any business. Yes?
Allo, is it A-L-O-E?
It's A-L-O-O. So the question and answer that's community driven input is here on the knowledge panel. This is a section of the knowledge panel, and I used myself, love to success marketing as a lot of these examples. It's because I control it and I can take the pictures and not show a lot of information, and it's a little self-promotion, please forgive me. Also, I use some of my clients' information, and we'll be sharing that throughout because they're, that's what I work on all day. That's what I'm most familiar with. The question and answer here, anyone can ask a question, including the business owner. A business owner can add their questions here, again, including geographic tags and words, and including their keywords. And if you have a frequently asked question, like, do you have vegan entrees in your restaurant? You would want to answer that right here. People can, maybe that might be the one thing they need to see before they decide to click, call, or come in your door. The frequently asked questions are able to be answered by anyone, so you want to monitor this and make sure that those questions have appropriate answers. And if they're disgruntled employees, if they are inappropriate, you can contact Google through their forums. I'll give you one of my secrets. Google My Business has a Twitter address, and if you message them through Twitter, they respond within a day or two. If you send them an email, you're lucky to get a response in a week or two. And if you use their forums, usually it's their best practicing answers. They're not coming from Google employees, they're coming from people that are in your forum. They're usually good answers, but to get something done, like if you have a duplicate listing, if you have the wrong information and you can't change it, one of my clients had a duplicate listing and the other listing was already claimed by someone else. The phone number wasn't a number that he had control over, and the address he couldn't receive mail at. So there was no way through Google's normal processes of verification to claim that. So I used the Twitter messaging. I claimed the business with an appropriate address, and then once it was verified, we were able to delete that wrong listing. So duplicate listings are a big problem, and if you move, getting that updated quickly is really, really important. Another piece of local SEO I'll throw in here, even though it's not about Google My Business, is citations and directories. Those information of your name, address, and phone number are all over the internet. Directory services, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Yahoo, Bing, Yellow Pages, Dex, all of those are trying to have your information, your name, address, and phone number correct. One of the things that Google uses to figure out whether you're the right business to show is your name, address, and phone number consistent throughout. So that's important to keep updated. The question and answer part of this, again, a part of optimizing and leveraging that most other businesses aren't doing, use your own questions and then answer them yourselves or get some of your best customers to answer. Booking is a fairly new service. It's been out for about 6 months. You have to partner with a software that allows that booking to coordinate or exchange with a calendar. So whether you're using a Google Calendar, an Outlook Calendar, one of their calendars, so people can see your open and available times, and can literally click on 12:30 Tuesday to book my hair salon appointment. That service is a wonderful tool. Google wants you to use that, but they don't offer booking to every business. One of my customers is a local golf shop, and they offer lessons, and Google is offering them the booking button. But you'll notice if your business has nothing to do with booking, that you want to have that button available. Menus and services, a really, really strong tool, an excellent place to optimize and show your customers what you do, how much you cost, and give them a taste of your business. It's up to you as a business owner whether you want to answer all their questions here or if they're whistle enough that they call you or come to your store to get all of their answers. If you're a business, then you're going to have services available, and now you have products available to post. If you're a restaurant, you're going to have menu available. If I'm a business and I'm having service, I can have a section. I can divide out my services into sections. And then I have an item description, and then a price. I put in a price in US dollars. That price does not have to be filled in, but you cannot put words like starting at. It's literally a number, and that's all you give control over. So most of my clients are choosing not to post prices at this time. I think that's going to change because, again, people are going to start using it as a gauge. Do I go here or do I go there? And they're going to want to look at numbers to figure that out. As a restaurant, there's your option for menu. The menu to fill in is very, very similar. You notice you've got a section name, a menu item, an item description, and an item price. Your item name, your section name, and your item description are all opportunities to tell Google what your business does and why a customer should come to you instead of a competition. Your images and video. This is something that's underutilized by every customer I help and almost every business I see. You cannot post too many pictures. You just recently have been able to add video here and add video in your posts. So my customer here that has a catering business doesn't necessarily have interior and exterior pictures, but he does have a cover photo and a profile, and that's how you build what people see when they go to your knowledge panel. Again, these knowledge panels, and I should have mentioned this early on, don't just show up in Google search. This is your listing in Google Maps. So your Google Maps and your Google search is what is shown by all of this information you load. Google has kind of given some categories up at the top there, and you'll notice that those categories include video, interior and exterior, but this client is a catering service. Google is smart enough to add food and drink pictures and a menu picture. So they want to see that information loaded for that business, and they even give you the place to put it. And when it's showing up on maps and it's showing up on search, then people have a choice to see those pictures and engage with them. They can like them, they can share them, they can post them to social media, all from the tools that Google gives you for free. 360 options people still use, which is the Google walkthrough, where literally, if you've seen the street view, where you can click on a button and walk through outside, you can do that inside businesses. And those walkthroughs, there's local photographers that offer them. Excuse me. It takes a specialized camera and specialized software to create them. But if you're a Google local scout, if you have that app on your phone, you can take your own 360-degree photographs and post them directly to your business. Those 360-degree photographs get 5 to 7 times more engagement than a flat plane photograph. And if you can do a tour of your store, even if it's 3 or 4 guided pictures of 360 through your store, your showroom, your business, that's going to see much, much more engagement. You can hire a company to do that for you, or you can do it yourself with a smartphone and a local guides app. It's Google Local Guides, and they give you an app on your phone. They also give you rankings. So the more, as a local guide, you comment on things, you review things, you answer questions that Google offers, the more that you're going to get a ranking. There's 7 levels as Google Local Guides. I happen to be a level 6 Google Local Guide, so my reviews carry more clout on a Google My Business listing than someone that has never reviewed or is not a local guide. So Google wants, again, the community to have input. This is the Google My Business, and that little star there is what I can use to like this and keep it available on my map. So I'm here on desktop. If I click that little star, then it's going to be available on my smartphone, on my app, whenever I open it up. So if I'm at work and I'm searching for where to go to a park for a hike after work, I like it there or save it there, and then it shows up on my Google Maps on my phone. This is what is the most important thing about this service is 70% of people will view your business first on a mobile device. So the questions they ask are, what's your phone number and where are you? Most people don't need to go to your website and find out when you started your business and who the partners are in your business and all your products. They really want to come in and talk to you, but they have to find your business first and get a phone number. This is what your Google Map listing looks like, and in a minute we'll show you, kind of emphasize the reviews are right there at the top. My category as a marketing agency is right there, and then I can share this right to social media from here. So if I'm talking to my wife and I want to give her directions to your business, and meet her there, I can share that right to her smartphone. The local services ads I want to touch on quickly. Grand Junction is not currently affected by it, but it's coming. There are over 30 metro areas now where Google has listings for plumbers, house cleaners, electricians, and you can be a Google guaranteed business. If you're a Google guaranteed business, Google will literally guarantee those services up to $2,000 in your home. So if you're not happy with them, you can file with Google and they'll look at it as a grievance to give you money back for a service that they recommended. Now that is a lead generation service. Google will get paid $10 to $30 for every lead they send the local plumber, the local house cleaner, the local electrician. You must be verified in your Google My Business to even be listed there, and you have to go through a process with Google to be guaranteed. Google loves Google. They're going to do everything they can to capture lead dollars and AdWord dollars. They want to be the answer to your question. They literally vet these businesses to make sure they're good solutions to the questions that are being asked. The keywords that you list and the categories you list and Google's algorithms are how they decide which businesses to show first and second and third and last. But I would say within a year, we're going to have that here in Grand Junction as well. It's something that if you start now and you start building reviews and start building engagement on your Google My Business, you're going to be a step ahead of the other businesses that go, oh, I got to be on Google. If you already have that footwork established, you're going to be a step ahead when they need you. So the business description is under information. Under information is where you put your business hours, your business category, your business address, your business phone number, all of those information. But there's a section to add your business description. It has to be under 750 words. They don't want offers and specials in your business description. And this is an opportunity where you can literally grab the heart of your clients and your customers. This is where someone that is on the analytical side of things more than the guy. I'm a guy that I want to see pictures and videos. But there's a lot of people out there that want to read consumer reports and get all the information they can get before they make a decision. This is something where people would read it. Where it shows up on the knowledge panel is right below your reviews, and they give you a snippet of information. If you can nail your business description in 2 sentences, that's what's there, and that is again a great way to be concise and leave a reason for someone to call you. But if you can describe who you are and what you do and why you do it, this is a great place to do it. Again, this is a great place to add keywords and geographical terms so Google can connect the dots of who you are and where you do business and why they should send customers to you. Reviews. Reviews is something that is more and more important. Reviews are considered word-of-mouth recommendations. Reviews are, I don't know if I still have this come up on me. I have a whole bunch of statistics on reviews. 97% of consumers will look at reviews before making a final purchase decision. 12% of consumers look at reviews every day. Reviews are customers, 85% of customers will not choose a business that has less than 4 stars. All kinds of statistics around reviews. This is what they look like on the maps. This is what they look like in a desktop search. This particular client, GJ Goff, was second in the knowledge pack, or in the what they call the snap pack, the 3 business options under the map. And I worked on it, I worked on it, I worked on it. I finally got him 2 more Google reviews, and now he's number 1. And the only thing that changed was the number of reviews that he has. Google will use the number of reviews as well as the ranking or the quality of those reviews in their, basically their authority check. So to get ranked below the map, your website plays a factor, where the customer is plays a factor, the prominence, the location, and especially what they type in. Google's going to decide with what question they ask whether they're going to show the map or they're going to show your business in the knowledge panel. Nobody knows when Google considers it a question about services or a question about your business. Your goal is to show up for both. These reviews show up in the map. This is a map listing. Again, what they say is right there. I can click on it. I can like it. You can upvote your own reviews. You can ask your best customers to like or upvote your reviews. The ones that are upvoted show up at the top. The ones that are not are lower down. We have customers all the time that get bad reviews. It happens. People have bad days. When a bad review happens, and it's not an ex-employee, it's not a competitor, you're not able to ask Google to remove it for you, the only way to get that review off the screen is to push it down with more reviews. And it'll always be there. And a bad review is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes people respond to those reviews. And right in your dashboard, you have an option to reply to reviews. Best practice is to reply to every review, good, bad, or normal reviews. If it is a bad review, as a person that's dealt with hundreds of reviews and customers that get bad reviews, don't reply immediately. Type out your reply in an email, leave it there, and if you want to send it the next day or you want to use that the next day after sleeping on it, then you can put it in your review and reply. Chances are your emotional response as a business owner, this is your baby and somebody just said something bad about your baby, you're going to come off a little bit unprofessional and probably push more people away with a reply to your review that's derogatory. Even if it's a bad thing that they say, thanking them and using that as a tool to improve your business is absolutely the best thing you can do. The reviews, how they show up, again, is relevance-based. It is not always the most recent review that's on top, and it's not always your highest review that's on top. Reviews that have more words tend to show up versus reviews that have less words. We're close to being done. In my research, this is a quote from Google Help, Google Support, and it tells us how important reviews are. As we're building out our Google My Business page, we're leveraging it to get more customers, more calls, more clicks. Reviews are a very, very important part of that, and it's in the top 5 reasons why Google will show your listing before someone else. So the relevance, the prominence, and the direction, if in that top 5 reasons why Google will show your business, reviews is one of them. And I can't say enough how important it is to use reviews. In the packet that's here, there's a resource page. You can scan this with your smartphone. I'm going to leave this up for just a minute. After we're all done, I'll put it back up again. I created a page regarding this talk today. You can download a resource page there on both a Google document, which I'll continually add to, and a PDF if you, for some reason, prefer a PDF. I'll try to keep that updated, but the Google Doc automatically updates, and anyone that downloads it has the most recent information. This is my contact information. If you have questions, now's the time to ask. If you have questions that come up in your business, I'm happy to answer them. The link and the web page has a list of my services as well as these resources. So what I want to do now is actually, we're ahead of schedule. Yay! Is I want to show you a video that just recently posted. On May 8th, Google had a seminar called the I/O Conference. And it's where they release all the most current information about what's going on in Google. And that didn't work. Excuse me 1 second while I grab the link. Yes, I get a lot of emails. But it is really the beginning. This is the end of what your Google My Business listing is the beginning of. And this is the CEO of Google talking.
I mentioned earlier, looking for assistance to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. You know, we're working hard to help users through those moments. We want to connect users to businesses in a good way. Businesses actually rely a lot on this, but even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule an appointment for you. Let's listen.
I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure. Can you hold on a second? Sure. What time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service you would like, what service would you be looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now? Okay, we have it 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's your first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
It's a little scary, isn't it? But it's where we're going with artificial intelligence, where we're going with Google, who wants to be the answer to all of your questions. This is what the dashboard looks like on my smartphone for Google My Business. It's an app you can download, and it is where I manage 15 different clients as Google My Business page. You can manage as many as you like, but I'll give you the advice that as a business owner or a marketing manager, you want to set it up under your control and under your Google account. You can then delegate the access to others, other marketing people. So my Wi-Fi is going a little slow. We're getting there. So this is going to show my latest post, which happens to be a video. It'll ask me if I want to create a post, what I want to do. This is the insights. So there's been 501 searches for this business, 16 on directories, 16 people asked for directions, 27 people called the business. They were viewed on Google 2,000 plus times. And out of that, 110 actions were taking place. This is done every 7 days, so you can gauge whether you're going up or down in these numbers, and you can create new things. 748 times their photos were viewed.
Is that lifetime?
No, that's in the last period of this 7 days, 30 days, whatever you set the insights at. Yes?
I was just wondering what else is included in actions, because calls and directions didn't quite get to all the way up in that number. What else counts as an action?
I'll show you here in a second, but the actions are only recorded by clicks on your phone. So if they look at your phone number and they're at home and they pick up their home phone, it doesn't qualify. They have to click the visit website button on their smartphone or visit the call now button on their smartphone for it to get registered. This is important to know about how Google looks at things. You're either looking at a direct search, which is people that type in your business name, or a discovery search. They say plumber in Grand Junction. This particular business was viewed 279 times as direct search, and just wanted to take this time answering the other question. But to answer your question about where customers are viewing you, this is on search and on maps. So 563 views on search and 1,887 views on maps. And this could be that you were shown on the 3rd page at the bottom. It doesn't mean you're in the first 3 or 4 that a customer makes their decision based on. If they give 37 responses and you're the 36th response on maps, they consider this a view. Nobody ever scrolls past the first page of Google. But to answer your question about what actions do they take, they either visit your website, request directions, or call you. All 3 are the buttons at the top of your listing on a mobile device. So that's what Google can track. Again, if they look at your phone number and they turn off the app and go to their phone and call you, that doesn't count in these numbers. But you can also see if they looked at driving directions, what part of town were they looking at directions from? What zip code did they look at? Again, this is for 1 month. For businesses, when did they call? They received 14 phone calls on Friday and 6 phone calls on Monday, but not very many calls in between. So if you're booking out your employees and trying to figure out when do you need front desk help, this is a great way to look at it. And then again, your photo views and photo quality is all part of it here. And that's my beautiful wife texting me. I must have turned off my do not disturb when we were going through the settings. So if I go here to business information, this is where I can set the correct address, the correct phone number, the correct business hours. Again, I set this a while ago, and I'll correct myself. Memorial Day has already passed, and Apple wants me to buy a new phone, so they don't play nice. Sorry, I'm not sure I'm turned off. But literally right here on my phone with this app, I can change the business hours, and what I was just about to do is edit and turn off the fact that May 28th has already passed. So I want to be able to show you how to post and do a few other things, but as we get down on time, I really want to open it up for questions. What questions are you guys experiencing, and what can I answer for you? Yes, sir.
Is there a way to integrate YouTube into the search pane there?
No, you have to upload the native video from your own. But in the add a link, you can link out to the YouTube video. Okay. Not everybody knows that Google owns YouTube.
Right.
So #1 search engine in the world is Google. #2 search engine in the world is YouTube. So adding those links back and forth is a good way to help Google love Google. Yes, sir.
As far as location goes, I have a P.O. box,
Uh-huh,
so they don't send their little codes
that's correct.
to the P.O. boxes, so how do you get around that?
Based on Google's terms of use, you don't get around it. They want business locations to be a legitimate place of business.
Well,
If,
And that's the thing, I'm in Palisade, they don't deliver mail.
yep. It's really, really tough. I have not found a good solution to that. I have a client that's, their business is located in Loma, and the business address that everything is registered under is in Loma, but 99% of their business is in Grand Junction. Google gives them, it's hard for Google to realize that their business is in Loma. There are places where you can register a business. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say, in Ridgeway, a lot of people go to the same communities that co-working spaces that are like location or whatever. Is that like a good?
The hard thing is that if there's 5 businesses with the same exact address, then Google is confused as to who to offer as an answer. Now, if the co-working space were to offer Suite 1, Suite 2, Suite 3, then you could register under that suite, or under that Unit A, Unit B. It's a hurdle. You know, I work from home. I list my home as my place of business. If a customer comes knocking on the door, you know, I may or may not be getting an answer them. But I had to use my home business, my home address, so that I could get verified with Google. Yes, ma'am.
How does this work for nonprofits?
Google will consider you an organization, and you can have a listing just like anyone else, and you can optimize that listing and use that listing to create authority and traffic to your website. Google actually in their AdWords offers nonprofits amazing rates and gives away free advertising for nonprofits in AdWords. So using Google My Business for a nonprofit is an everyday occurrence.
I have a service business and it's national. I rarely work in Colorado and I have no local clients.
Okay.
So is that a barrier as far as the service being applicable to?
So you can create a service area and you can create a business location. As a service area, you can have as large of a service area as you want. You can list cities, you can list town, you can list zip codes, you can list whole states as a place where you have a service area. And literally on the map, they'll draw a red line around where you service.
So if it's national, this is not.
You could. Google wants to provide the closest business and response. So if you try to be everything to everyone everywhere, it's really difficult. If you pick 3 or 4 cities where your services are most prominent, Google has a better chance of showing you in those cities.
Okay.
So if you look at your 80-20 rule, probably 80% of your customers are coming from 20% of the geographical areas.
True.
Keep them coming.
So I have a couple questions about reviews. First, so I know, with Yelp's algorithm, if you ask for reviews or offer anything in return for a review, whether it's positive or negative, they'll tag it and they'll take it off, based on how they do things. Does Google have the same kind of rule? Will they, for example, if we post something on Facebook and say, if you've ever used us, please give us a review. Will they tag that? Is that something that they frown upon?
Google wants you to ask for reviews.
Okay.
Yelp does not want you to ask for reviews. Google just recently, I provide a service called Birdeye, which is a review marketing and management tool that literally goes out and asks people, would you give us a review? Gives you one dashboard where you can respond to all your reviews, and you can push a button to push a Google review out to Facebook as a social media post. So there's a lot of great tools within it. It used to have a tool that said, would you review our business? Yes or no. Would you tell a friend about us? Yes or no. If you said no, it would take you over here to a screen that you filled out, ranting and raving about how your poodle came back looking like a cat at this pet spa, and then it would go back to the business owner as an email. It would never get posted. That's called review gating. And Google just recently, I think the 18th of May, came out and said you can no longer restrict the response. So if you ask people for a Google review, be prepared for good or bad, and respond to that review professionally as quickly as you can.
Which leads me to my second question. Do you recommend going, you said to respond to all reviews, is it in bad taste to go back and or respond to reviews that were 3 years ago? If you haven't done it yet?
No, that's good. It's good to do. And as you saw here, I just updated those business hours. This is where I would put in the business description and all of that. But here on the review screen, and I think this is a bad example because the two reviews are sort of for me and someone else that works for this company. But we're both contractors, we're not employees. We're both local guides, and we know the importance of having reviews for this business. So we provided a review that doesn't say we've used their products, we tasted their food. We say we highly recommend this business. So if I wanted to respond to those, I would literally click here, and I'm going to respond to myself. And I'm done. I said thank you, Steve. That's all I said. That's all it needs to be said. It's a response. It's in good taste, and I can move on. But Google does record whether you respond or not.
So does Steve see that? Does people see that? Who sees your response? Everybody.
Everybody.
Even Steve.
Do you get a notification, like, with your app when you get reviews? So you can reply immediately?
Yes. And the tools that manage reviews also give you those notifications. Some of the notification shortfalls of Google My Business. When someone asks a question in the knowledge panel, they don't notify you that someone's asked a question about your business. Hence why probably 25% of businesses have unanswered questions on their own knowledge panel. Google is getting better all the time, but some of those notifications you really cannot rely on. And I suggest to my businesses that I consult with, as well as that are clients, that they look at their Google My Business at least once a week. Maybe you have something new to share. Maybe you just want to see what your reviews are. But even if you're just looking at your insights to see what people are doing, and why is this week better than last week? Oh, I posted twice. That's why I'm getting more information.
I got a question. Blogs, I've been told that you blog on your website, the more higher up you get. Is that true?
It's absolutely true. So it's content, and it gives words and pictures and indexable items to Google to know whether you have authority or not. It comes to that relevance and prominence. If you say more things about your business on your website than your competitor says, and those are contextual to what your business is and does, Google's going to see that and consider you a better response than your competition. That's called SEO, search engine optimization, and content is the biggest part of it.
So Google sees your blogs?
Google
On your
sees your
website?
blogs. Yep. Yep.
Question. So for posts, would you recommend like trying to manage that every day? I've noticed Google will remind you like once a week. So I'm not sure like what the ideal. I'm sure there isn't even an
Well,
ideal.
thank you for bringing that up. Google, your posts expire every 7 days.
Right.
They'll stay there on there as people want to scroll down to see them, but they will no longer be in your knowledge panel after 7 days. That's where your events and your offers offer a credible value because they stay live until they expire. So that's something that, I get those notifications for 15 clients, and every 7 days. I recommend having 2 to 3 posts active at all times. So to answer your question about every day, you can only have 7 active posts at one time. So if you did one every day, you'd be at the max. Yes, sir?
Is there a way to be notified when paid leads come to our area?
Keep an eye out for it, and look for posts. It'll be big news when it does.
Okay. From you?
Excuse me?
From you, maybe?
Yeah, I'll absolutely be posting that.
So Google Analytics sent out some notifications last month about deleting like retention
Does that affect your authority if someone did go back and expand those if I don't delete this information?
Well, Google loves Google, and what they do behind the scenes, no one knows. But I would absolutely go in and click those check boxes they asked you to click. It didn't come up here, but GDPR, which is General Data Protection, is something that everyone has to deal with. Whether if you take a name and phone number or a name and email on the website, or you collect that in any way, you're now responsible to protect that, and if someone tells you to remove it, to be able to remove it. It's only for EU citizens, but it affects everybody in the world, and it's really best practices anyway, and that's what Google is doing. Google is making themselves GDPR compliant, and if they weren't, saving stuff on their servers, they didn't have to save it. I think that about concludes our time together. There's that resource page available if anybody wants to grab a packet on the way out, and I'm happy to answer questions for you at any time.
Real quick, how about around the call for